Hey guys, I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Charlie. And
you're watching The Compass Effect.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a weekly dose of The Compass Effect, where we journey together to discover life's treasures.
This week, we'll check out the first in a series on culture, starting with Vietnamese culture, right in the backyard and around the corner of Little Saigon.
Kickstarting today's lineup is Vo Việt Nam, Vietnam's prized martial art.
And we'll take a quick tour of a popular Mooncake Festival and end it with a how-to on making your very own bowl of steaming hot pho.
Plus, we've got two exciting interviews coming up. But first off, let's see why these folks love Vietnamese culture so much.
So I hopped on a train 3 in the afternoon. I don't know when I'm coming back, but I hope that this soon.
I like how the Vietnamese parents, especially my parents, teach me how to be responsible and competitive. So when I get out there to the real world, I can be a responsible, mature adult.
We always depended on the elders, and when we're not depending on them anymore, we can always look for them as a support.
I really like the Lunar Moon Festival because there are mooncakes and red lions.
Distance, baby, love is no distance, baby, no, not when it comes to you and me.
My favorite part's like the sense of community that the Vietnamese culture has, the families and everything. They're so intertwined.
My favorite part about the Vietnamese culture is the food.
Food.
I like how most of the time it's fresh.
I like the pho.
And there's hardly any time that it's ever pre-made.
And I like the nước mắm.
So if you want it fresh, you can get it fresh anywhere.
And I like and the hot vịt lộn and the lots of stuff, you know.
Be right there where you are. Love is no distance, baby, love is no distance, baby, no, not when it comes to you and me.
Vietnamese food, good for you.
So Charlie, what do you like most about the Vietnamese culture?
Well, what I like most, Tiffany, about the Vietnamese culture is the language. What I mean by that is in terms of the warm, gracious, thoughtful, and hospitable aspect of it, because respect and courtesy is built into the grammar of the most basic conversation. For example, when I say hi to you, I don't just say Jiao. I say Jiao M or Jiao Ji, depending on whether I think you're younger or older. So which one do you prefer?
So I hope you think I'm younger, so probably am.
Okay, alright, perfect. And depending on who I speak to, I'm either going to say Jiao Ong Ba An Ji, Go Em Bak Ju Jiao, just to name a few. So Tiffany, what do you like most about the Vietnamese culture?
What I like most is celebrating Tết, which is otherwise known as the Vietnamese New Year, because I receive lots of red envelopes filled with money.
Show her the money. Up next, let's tag along with Johnny as he single-handedly takes on a Vo Việt Nam studio.
Hi, it's Johnny. When most people think about Vietnamese culture, they often think about pho or Tet. Something that most people don't know is that Vietnam has its own unique martial arts, known as Vo Việt Nam. Let's come check it out.
Vo Việt Nam tức là viết tắt của 3 chữ Võ Việt Nam.
5, 6, 7.
Từ năm 69 là tới nhập môn từ năm 69 tại An Giang, Long Xuyên, và sau đó thì tập cho đến 1975, rồi cũng gián đoạn một thời gian sau 75, và năm 85 là bạn sinh hoạt lại tới bây giờ đến đây.
2 vòng bẻ tay, bẻ lên và quét chân vào tắt.
Vietnam is fun here, and when all the kids after school they come here and they learn it and love it. So that's one thing, instead of stay at home and playing games. So this is when they come here with the master, and we try to help them out. Also, we learn and teach them like about the founder, how Vietnam started.
Ông Nguyễn Lộc thành lập năm 1938 tại Hà Nội. Vào cái thời đó thì thực dân Pháp có đô hộ người Việt, thành thử ra nó có những những việc mà muốn làm cho cái đầu óc người thanh niên lúc đó là để không còn cái tinh thần nào để mà chống Pháp nữa, để cứu nước. Thành thử ra ông có những cái xu hướng đó, ông mới nghĩ ra nếu mà để người thanh niên như vậy thì càng ngày càng không có cái việc mà mở mang cái tư tưởng, và để cho thống nhất đất nước là chống quân Pháp. Thành thử ra ông mới nghiên cứu và đặt ra một cái cuộc cách mạng, đó là cái cuộc cách mạng tâm thân. Tất nhiên để con người muốn có đầu óc minh mẫn thì phải có một thân thể tráng kiện.
So I noticed your uniform is all blue. Is there a meaning behind the blue color? The color of hope. So we hope that by this martial art, we're gonna give some hope to the younger generation, or even our generation, that we can do something. We try to master on the martial arts so we can help the humankind. So what's your favorite part about coming to this Vietnam class?
I like how we get to perform around like the Hoi Jata and other tournaments. It's a great experience.
4, 5.
How'd you guys first get started and get involved with this martial arts?
I was introduced when I was in the 2nd grade, and I came to a practice to see, and it looked really cool, so I wanted to try it out, and I've been doing this ever since.
My dad saw it on TV, so he thought it would be cool for me to learn it, so I came to watch, and I thought it would be cool too.
Can you demonstrate one of your favorite moves? I would say Vietnam not only to learn and to attack, but mostly we teach all the students here how to play self-defense. One of the moves I think that you see most of people on the street when they go behind you, they grab you from the neck like this, going down. So Vietnam, I'm gonna teach you how to free yourself up. Okay? So let's say I'm gonna ask Mr. Tang here, and he's gonna come here and just do some demonstration. Like if you're gonna grab me from like this, Brian. So first, like this, like this. Okay. Look like this, but very simple. So I'm gonna teach him. I pretend to be a bad guy. Okay, we do very slow. Okay, like I just surprise him and go back, and then go bam. Down. Okay. Now first you go for yourself. Okay. And just sweep my leg, and then this hand go down. Try not to fall. Are we doing it again? Do one more time. One. Okay. Take it down. For yourself. Okay. All right. And then sweep. In conclusion, I like to tell you two things. First, now that I know how to defend myself, don't ever put me in a headlock. And second, we now have some insight into Vietnamese martial arts through Vo Vietnam. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Johnny. So here today we have a special interviewee, my close friend, Cecile Nguyen. Hi guys.
Welcome, Cecile.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here. So I heard from Tiffany that growing up you were involved with a lot of different Vietnamese American youth groups. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I was involved in Tiffany Tente, which is a Vietnamese Eucharistic group, and I was also involved in Viet Ngữ and Nhau Li, which is Vietnamese classes and Bible classes.
So what was the most important thing that you've learned while being in the Vietnamese American youth programs?
Well, besides my faith, I also learned my language and about my culture and our traditions.
So why did you get involved in the first place? And what were some things that happened as you were growing up that made you decide to stick with these groups?
Well, initially, my parents put me into these groups, and I didn't really like it. You know, I didn't like spending my Saturdays at Vietnamese classes, but you know, as I grew up, I realized that it was very important for me to go to these classes because I could communicate with my grandma better and communicate with my parents. And I know, like, I found out where I came from, which is very important to me.
Absolutely.
So how important was it for a second generation Vietnamese American to stay in touch with their cultural background?
I think it's very, very important because if you don't have your roots and you don't know where your roots are, then you're not very grounded, and you know, it makes you who you are today. And I would definitely advise everyone to find out where they came from.
What do you like most about Vietnamese culture?
Oh, I definitely love the food.
And we all know she eats a lot. So what is your favorite dish?
I love pho. Pho, hands down, is my favorite.
I think everyone can agree with you on that. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
All right, so one last thing, Cecile. One final word of advice for the youth, American Vietnamese youth today. What would you say as a final word?
I would definitely advise you guys to talk to your parents, talk to your grandparents, you know, learn where you came from, to pass on that traditions to the third generation, and you know, stay grounded in where you came from.
Well said. Thank you, Cecile.
You're welcome.
Okay, so after the break, we'll check out the sights and sounds of Vietnam's most popular holiday, the Mooncake Festival, and learn about how it all started. See you in a bit. It's mooncakes and lines galore. The Mooncake Festival, also known as the Mid-Autumn Festival, has been held at Garden Grove Park for almost 20 years.
Let's join Jennifer with the scoop.
Hi, this is Jennifer, and I'm here in Garden Grove Park for the 2012 Mooncake Festival, celebrating the autumnal equinox. I am here with Mr. Vu. He is the coordinator of the Vietnamese School and Language Association. So, Mr. Vu, I have some questions for you. Could you tell me a little bit about the history behind the Mooncake Festival? How did it get started?
Actually, you know, the Moon Festival, it started thousand years ago in my country, my culture. This is the one. You know, after the harvest, and then the parent, you know, they have the free time, and then they gather together. And in that night, you know, very big moon shining, and then they sit down, drinking tea, wife, they bake some cake, and the kid, you know, that they have some lantern, and then they go dancing around. That's the Moon Festival, you know, start.
Put your hands together for the fashion show contest. Alrighty.
To paint my face. This particular holiday is probably one of my favorite holidays in the Vietnamese tradition, simply because we eat a lot of really cool foods, but my favorite has to be served around this time, and it's called mooncakes. Mooncakes are just my favorite part about this holiday. All right, thank you. Check it out. Now that I am all dragged up, I decided to go interview some Boy Scouts. So I am here with Lon, and I'd like to know, what is your group doing here today?
We're volunteering at the game booths and helping around the whole entire area.
It's wonderful that you're volunteering at the game booth, and I hope you guys have fun. You have an event coming up, right?
Yeah.
What are you going to do exactly?
We're going to do a flag ceremony.
So, tell me, Belinda, what is your favorite part about this Mooncake Festival?
Being around friends and family was a good thing, and watching all the cool performances.
How does this festival help you keep in touch with your Vietnamese heritage?
When I come here, I'm just like, wow, I'm missing out on where I came from, and it's just beautiful to go back and realize that this is where I came from.
I have one more question for both of you. What is your favorite flavor mooncake?
Definitely durian. Yeah,
durian.
Even though people said it smells like socks, but it's really good.
Oh. Well, behind me you can see the lion dance. That about wraps it up for the Mooncake Festival. Thank you for watching and have a great evening.
And action. Action. I said action.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Pho is just so good.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's pretty something when people can identify a culture through a signature dish.
That means it's not just super delicious, but also steeped in the broth of our culture. Get it?
Good one.
Now let's join Vivian in the kitchen and learn how to make some good old homemade pho.
Hey guys, so I'm here with Bo Lang from CSS Veggie Cooking Club, and today we're going to be making a vegetarian pho. This is really, really good. So I was wondering, why is pho so popular to the Vietnamese culture? Why is it such a hit?
Actually, pho from North Vietnam, and over there the cold weather, so they like hot food.
Oh, so it keeps everybody warm.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So why is it so popular now? Because it's not always cold, right? So how come everybody still eats it?
Because it's so good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's so good. So what do we have here?
A lot of veggies.
Here we have kind of like the meat substitutes. These are kind of the toppings, and then this is kind of for the flavoring. It's called sardines. This is about a stick of cinnamon and about a teaspoon of spice. This right here is probably the most important part. It's for the actual broth itself. And then Jamaica. Chris, what is this called?
Jicama.
Oh, got it. Jicama. This is a jicama. So this right here, we're gonna peel and chop then, right?
Right. This bag for 4 or 5 bowl of pho.
Okay.
So we need like double water.
Okay.
You can start with a high heat.
Okay, so how long is this going to be for? About 1 hour. Just kind of pour the whole thing in there?
When we cook the broth, we need a little bit of salt.
Okay, so how much is a little bit?
About this much.
So we just leave it there on high heat for an hour. Okay, sounds good. So what's next, Go?
Now we do the flavor. If we grill them, the onion or the green ginger, so it tastes better. So the flavor come out.
You can see all the bubbles come out of the flavor. And it smells so good.
Now we're going to fry the tofu and bean curd.
Okay.
We use a little bit of oil. And now the tofu is turned brown.
Okay.
So you can put the sauce so it takes better.
Okay.
Sugar and salt and soy sauce and a little bit water. Okay, ready.
So we're gonna do the same thing with the bean curd?
Right. When it turns brown, and then you put the spice, the sugar and salt together.
Soy sauce. So 1 part salt and 2 parts sugar. So a teaspoon of mushroom powder. Wow, the mushroom powder really makes a difference.
Rice noodle, we hold in your hand like this much, and then put in this thing.
For about how long do we zip it in there?
5 seconds.
Wow.
You think you can make?
Yeah, I totally would make this, like, for everyone. Thank you girls so much for teaching us how to make this. I think now we all have a dish to make for our friends, and we really enjoyed this. Thank you.
Lastly, we have a very special guest with us. Her name is Tiffany Wang Liu. Welcome, Tiffany.
Thank you.
Sure. And she's actually the internal vice president of UVSA.
So can you tell us a little bit more about UVSA?
Sure. The UVSA stands for the Union of Vietnamese Student Associations, and it is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that was formed in 1982, so we're 30 years strong.
Wow.
We serve college and high school youths at different universities and high school campuses throughout Southern California, from Santa Barbara down to San Diego. We bring student leaders together and Vietnamese American youths to teach them leadership development and to serve the community.
So why is UVSA so successful, and what were some of the things that allowed it to be successful?
I think that the reason that the UVSA of Southern California is so successful is because of our location. In Southern California, we have a really dense Vietnamese population, and so it allows us to have accessibility to Vietnamese Americans, be it for manpower or for an audience. So when we host an event or we do something where we need to rally up the community for something important, we're able to reach them in very short notice.
So you said you've been involved in UVSA for 7 years, so what has kept you involved?
Well, initially I joined UVSA for socializing, but when I learned more about the leadership development programs that we do and the cultural awareness programs that we have as well, and after I met so many people in UVSA, the biggest thing that's kept me involved is that UVSA actually becomes like a second family.
Wow.
And so you're always motivated to learn more and then cultivate that family within UVSA and teach the younger students how to embrace this kind of family and continue pursuing leadership development.
So you speak a lot about leadership. Why is leadership so important?
I think that leadership development is really important because in mainstream America, Vietnamese Americans or ethnic Americans have a disadvantage over disadvantage from Caucasians, being that, for example, if we try to pursue a certain career or pursue a certain industry for a career, we have a disadvantage. So I think that leadership development is important because regardless of whether we know how to do something specialized, we still need these kind of leadership skills to teach us that, okay, I can do this job now, but also have the motivation and the knowledge to learn how to climb the ladder and get the upper hand as well, so that we can penetrate the mainstream market.
So can you share with our audience what is the most important leadership trait?
I think that the most important leadership trait is to learn to pass it on and to teach others around you the leadership skills that you have gained, because leadership isn't about creating a following to go wherever you go. Leadership is about creating more leaders.
Awesome. Very well said. Thank you so much for being with us today, Tiffany.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And thanks for joining us on this week's edition of The Compass Effect.
See you next time.